Hello, my name is Father Anthony of the Transfiguration, and here is a gospel commentary for August 6th, 2026, the Feast of the Transfiguration. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus took Peter, James, and his brother John and led them up a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, conversing with him. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, Lord, it is good that we are here. If you wish, I will make three tents for here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud cast a shadow over them. Then from the cloud came a voice that said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. When the disciples heard this, they fell prostrate and were very much afraid. But Jesus came and touched them, saying, Rise, do not be afraid. And when the disciples raised their eyes, they saw no one else but Jesus alone. As they were coming down from the mountain, Jesus charged them, Do not tell the vision to anyone until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. The Gospel of the Lord. So people ask me why I took the name Transfiguration when I made my final profession, and it's just so much that I could uncover. And year after year, I discover, new spiritual lights about these three passages of the three synoptic gospels. So there's a little different turn in each of them. This year we're in Matthew, and I just want to focus on at the beginning of the passage where he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. And this is in some way testimony to what we believe as Catholics of the Lord transforming us from within, transfiguring us as he makes us holy. There's something that shines out from inside of us, the Lord's light that shines out and that others are able to see. There's something of, we might call it joy. We might call it, a manifestation, a witness. And certainly today, as we celebrate the funeral of Father Ken Leone, we think about someone who just radiated with light and with joy and with there was a vibe. He touched people in just a little way where everyone remembers him, and when times were tough with the Columbine shooting, yeah, people turned to him so naturally and quickly, and he responded with that light that made people feel warm in that presence of the Lord. And so certainly someone who bathed himself in prayer and in a deep friendship with the Lord. Well, Saturday I'm going to be giving a teaching for the Archdiocese that anyone is welcome to on Zoom on St. Edith Stein, and there's a passage that I'm going to read with that teaching that I want to share with you now that also really expresses what's going on when there's something that shines from us as Christians. And so this is from her the deep philosophical but Christian work that she gave us that's called in English Finite and Eternal Being. So this is St. Edith Stein, St. Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. From the innermost center of the soul, there also issues that radiation of the personal essence or nature, which is an involuntary emanation of the personal self. This radiation, or what we might call a shining, which issues from the person and captivates others, is the stronger, the more collectively a human being lives in the innermost center of the soul, or the more recollected a person is in that center of his soul. The more the person is centered, the more perhaps they have this core of prayer and of a life that's focused, a life that's also free, right? The more this is the case, the more strongly and marked are all the free spiritual manifestations of a person's individuality. So that's sounds a little complicated. What are the spiritual manifestations of a person's individuality? Well, that's their personality, but also their gifts or talents, whatever makes them authentic and different, and a gift to others. So the more strongly and more marked these gifts, talents, personality, what Edith Stein calls free manifestations of a person's individuality. Because this individuality ultimately has its home in the soul's interiority. So when you have that home, when you know where your home is, when you live, your home is in God, God is at home in you. There's something that is shining out from you. The more a human being is at home in the interiority of its soul, the stronger is the body impregnated with this inner life and spiritualized by it. So even our body, even there's something bright that shines, hopefully more than anything in our eyes. Personally, I'm a little ashamed that my eyes don't shine very much because I'm blind in one of them and they look like they're looking in different directions. And it reminds me in some ways of my inner sinfulness and how I want to keep striving to be yeah, more at home with God, so that something will shine in spite of my eyes, because I think eyes are the first place that a person might shine, but certainly also in just in their words, in their smile, and in the way they receive others. I don't know, this radiation, whatever was shining, that we want to let happen in our lives, and so we can't really control that radiation, but it happens when we are determined and consistent, authentic in our being at home with God, letting Him be at home in us, in what Edith Stein calls the innermost center. So as we go up on that mountain each day into our prayer, especially times of adoration or retreat, we want to find you, Lord, and see you in your beauty, your radiation, your shining, transfigured, and that gives us hope for what we're becoming in you. And we pray for Father Ken Leone today. May the soul of Father Ken and may the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace.